Good morning. So July is Sarcoma Awareness Month. So sarcoma is a relatively rare cancer affecting approximately 200 people every year in Ireland. Um, and sarcoma is a cancer of the connective tissue. So that means it can occur in bones, in muscle, in fat, in blood vessels. And we are here today with Siobhan, who has experienced a diagnosis of sarcoma, and she's going to tell us about how it was diagnosed, treated, how she is now, and the importance of research. So Siobhan, you're very welcome, and thank you very much for doing this for Breakthrough today. It's great to hear a patient's perspective and to really increase awareness of this disease. So Siobhan, if you want to start,
Yeah.
how were you diagnosed? Firstly, welcome,
Thank you,
and
Francis. Yeah.
and how were you diagnosed, or how did you notice something was wrong?
Well, I was always prone to fibroid lumps in my breast. And I remember discovering one in about um, July or August.
Mhm.
And then my mum was very ill. So I kind of said, oh, sure, look, it's only there now. I can go in September now when the summer is over or whatever. And then my mum passed away. And then I had went straight to get an appointment.
Mhm.
um, went to the doctor and they sent me straight up to CUH. And I went to Louise and I then had a biopsy done. She knew it was kind of serious enough.
Okay.
Now it wasn't a very big lump. It was only a small, like 5 mil or something,
Okay.
5 millimeters. So, but I knew by the feel of it, for some reason, it wasn't, it was different. It had to be something,
Right.
myself even. So they did the biopsy and scans, and then that was in October 2013. Um, so obviously by November they had the results, and they did another. I think they did a lumpectomy first,
Okay.
um, and then that came back, and they just didn't have enough tissue
Okay.
surrounding, so they had to do mastectomy.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, yeah. Now the shock, first of all, of cancer. And then when I was told sarcoma, which very rarely occurs in the breast, apparently, that's what I was told at the time anyway. Normally, as you said, Francis, earlier, it's in the muscle, like your legs or your back or your arms, your thighs and places like that. Of course, that made me paranoid then for a long couple of years,
Yeah. Yeah.
making sure there was no lumps anywhere.
Yeah. So you were very vigilant after that, Siobhan.
Yeah. Well, I had been fairly good at doing breast check myself, just as because it's in the family, and I was made because of the fibroid normal lumps. I was kind of fairly good at that. So anyway, it all came back that I had to have the mastectomy in January, early January. So we went ahead with that, and at that stage, they didn't know if I was going to need chemo or not.
Okay.
Um, And that kind of bothered me a bit. I couldn't get this out of my head. I said, I have to get rid of it. Or I have to really get rid of it.
Oh,
And my surgeon, Louise, was amazing. Like she got me to believe and trust in her that once it's gone, it's gone.
okay.
But they took an awful lot of the breast away and plus right into the breast wall,
Okay.
which made reconstruction very difficult
Okay.
on that side. That was that's the worst part nearly after, afterwards, once it's gone.
Yeah.
Um,
It was
but
extensive surgery, Siobhan.
right in. I mean, he's gone in twice now to do the reconstruction and it's still not right.
Okay.
So one looks worse than the other because I had a second cancer exactly a year later, the normal breast cancer.
Okay.
But anyway, the sarcoma, it took me a long time I was just very anxious that it was going to come back somewhere.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part.
And was it
Um,
because it was a sarcoma? Was it because of not really knowing about it? What was it that made?
that's what it was. Yeah, not knowing about it. I knew it was rare to be found in the breast as well. So that kind of made me even more anxious about it.
Yeah.
But my breast care nurses were amazing. And I got to know more about it. And then I went to Ark House.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was reading up a little bit, but then I said, I don't know if I'm reading the right things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just asked all the questions to my surgeon and my breast care nurse. And if she didn't know it, she'd go back to Louise or whatever. I didn't want to have the wrong information because Google is not good.
Yes.
But
You did the right thing, Siobhan. You asked your cancer care nurse, you asked your surgeon for accurate information about sarcoma, about the treatment, chance of recurrence.
And like the chances, obviously the chances are there, but they're slim because I was going to be kept an eye on. And that was what I had to kind of accept myself.
Yeah.
You know, I had to accept that I wasn't going to be neglected, or, you know, I was going to be treated and every 3 months having your scans and everything else. So I'm still being kept an eye on all these years later. So I don't worry about that now anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't know a whole lot about it because, as you say, there are about 200 people, and that's a very small number, really, in Ireland particularly.
Yeah. And you were saying there's cancer in the family, so you were vigilant.
Myself, anyway.
Yeah. Which is, and the vigilance caught the breast cancer then as well.
On time. I was lucky from that, you know, and the second one as well. And because I was checking.
Yeah.
Now, there's the other thing as well is they want you to keep checking your breasts at the moment, even though there's hardly anything there.
Yeah.
Because I've had the reconstruction. So I find it hard to check. I don't notice anything really, except for under my arms. I just check under my arms, really, the glands.
Yeah.
And I was lucky it wasn't gone to the glands either, because they took away 6 nodes as well. So the recovery was difficult, you know, naturally.
Yeah.
But you get there in the end. You just have to be, you know, positive and stuff. And then sure, when I got the second one, I think I was floored altogether.
Yeah.
Because I knew then it was going to be chemo.
Right. So you didn't have chemo for the sarcoma?
No, or radium.
Okay. So
they got everything away.
Yeah.
An amazing surgery, you know, so.
Yeah.
I felt very reassured by my surgeon and my breast care nurses. So afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Good.
When they helped me.
Yeah. And you went for support yourself and you made sure you had information that was accurate.
Yeah. Unbelievable with Ark House. I'd recommend it to anybody, but I got tremendous help and support from them.
Yeah.
Because my mum had passed away, so I was kind of on my own, and I was looking after my dad. The rest of my family, okay, they're on the phone, but they're not near you.
Yeah.
And I have amazing friends, but you still need people who understand cancer, because your friends and family, unless they've gone through it, nobody understands it really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I dealt with them rather than listening to all the stories around the place.
That's really good. Yeah. So you dealt with experts all the way.
Sure.
Yeah. And you mentioned there a really important thing, you know, the impact on yourself, you know, and the need to look after yourself, and the fact that there are services there.
Yeah, it's very important. And people shouldn't be afraid to go. And well, I don't know. I found it wonderful anyway for me. I know a lot of other people who have gone also in the meantime. I'm still in contact with friends that I met during the surgery and afterwards. And, you know, we go away together now and everything. So we have a great old time.
That's good. And do they are they fellow sarcoma?
They're not sarcoma, no. They all had general breast cancer, yeah.
Yeah. And Siobhan, you mentioned very importantly there the importance of checking. And even though you've very little breast tissue left, you're still checking.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what got your the other 2 cancers in time, and you've recovered. Well, you know, you've recovered from them as well, or you got them in time. Got your chemo that time for the breast cancer. Yeah. And how did that go for you?
During the chemo, I was fine,
Mm-hmm.
really. No, okay, I was tired and I looked awful. I have curly hair, so I wasn't sure about what way my hair is going to come back. So it came back fine again, stronger than ever. And so I was happy about that. The worst part for the chemo, I think, is the eyebrows and the eyelashes, because you
Yeah,
look sick to everybody, no matter what you do.
yeah.
And you don't want to feel like that, and you don't want to be a burden, and you don't want help, and you want to do everything yourself. But sure, you have to learn to accept these things too.
Yes, yeah.
But I found afterwards, it was the neuropathy for me was the absolute worst, which I had for 4 years, 5 years actually,
Okay, okay.
which was quite long,
Yeah.
Um, Now I do get hot feet every now and again, but my oncologist had told me that if it's not gone within a few years, that you probably will always have a little bit of it. So,
Okay.
but it's not as bad as it was, thank God.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and
And I suppose the importance of research, Siobhan, for a rare cancer like sarcoma, how important is research for?
oh, it's extremely important,
Yeah.
absolutely, because there may be other treatments
Mm-hmm.
that they can come up with that you don't maybe say necessarily, like in my case, have to have uh, mastectomy maybe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some people say you're better off that I should have got the two out at the same time, but sure, look, you don't know these things. So I
You made the
suppose
best
new,
decision possible at the time. Which,
yes, at that particular time in 2013, that's what had to be done,
yeah,
and you just go with it.
yeah,
I think that's why research, I think, is also important, because it will help others.
mm,
Um, um, Recovery may not be as bad and that sort of thing. So, because it does take a while to get over it, a couple of years for each side.
yeah.
Um,
And
between
that's important to know that the recovery can be that long.
Can be,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Um, well,
But you
I always,
recovered.
sorry,
Sorry, but
oh,
you
I did. I'm great now. This is my best year ever.
which is
because
also
I,
important. Yeah.
yeah, because I'd had a mastectomy, or not a mastectomy, hysterectomy,
Hmm.
and tubes and everything were gone because of more history in the family. So everything is gone now, and that is actually the worst part, is the menopause symptoms.
Yeah.
It's better to be alive.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd say I was about a good year after when the breast was removed, that I began to say, okay, this is gone now. Cancer is gone. It's not there. Try to live as if it's
Yes.
completely gone.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that took about a year or a year and a half to kind of get my head around that, to accept it.
And you've become a member of our PPI panel, our patient
Yes, that's right.
initiative panel, and during the last round of the co-funding scheme,
Yes.
it just so happened that one of the best and funded and thus funded research projects was on sarcoma. Yeah, in
That
Clon.
was great. Uh,
Yeah, which and you were involved in actually reviewing some of these applications. Yeah, and so how is it for you to be involved in research at the moment and for breakthrough, looking at different research proposals and, being involved in saying whether, what you think of them?
I think I think for me, I feel very honored, but I'm also feeling that my opinion is listened to,
Mhm,
whether it's right or wrong. It's all part of the research,
mhm.
and I'm so happy to be involved in it, because just to bring wellness to people in the future,
Mhm.
and to hopefully find cures for different cancers, and not just sarcoma, but for all cancer. Um, I just feel honored to be involved in it, and it's a great pleasure. I would like obviously to do more. But COVID has interrupted us a lot, but still, we still got through. We still got on with different ones.
We did.
Uh,
We and training and everything. Yeah. And
there-
what you're doing is really important, raising awareness of this rare cancer, Siobhán, and the importance of getting information in the right place, of
yes,
monitoring yourself, going to the GP when you have symptoms, following
absolutely.
up, and getting support for yourself after.
All of that is hugely important to get you through the journey that you have to go through.
Yeah. And you've been through quite a bit, and I interrupted you there saying that, when you said it's your best year you ever, but so you've worked your way through a lot
Yes,
of different, but it's lovely to be at a stage where you can say best year ever.
absolutely. No, it is great. And I had said it now for the last few months. I just feel it now since about March or April
Mhm.
that even other parts of my body that were causing problems, that's all sorted now, and I'm pain free,
Great,
and which is fantastic from other lower back and stuff like that. Um, and I just feel energized. I
great.
feel more alive,
Yeah,
and it's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yvonne,
taken me a while, but I'm here.
absolutely. And on that note, I really want to thank you for raising awareness of sarcoma during this month and for
Yeah.
sharing your experience.
Thank you very much, Francis. I'm delighted to do it, and if I can be of any other help, please let me know.
Thank you very much.